Hello and welcome to this Terrace of the Endless Spring video on the Protectors of the Endless. For this fight you will need to kill 3 separate bosses, each one at a time. And the kill order that we did, that is probably the easiest kill order, is Protector Kowloon, then Elder Regal, then Elder Asani. Which basically, as long as you kill Protector Kowloon first, it's a pretty simple fight. So I'm just going to go over the mechanics for the kill order that we did. Protector Kowloon's abilities when 3 bosses are up is that he puts a debuff on a player, and it does 40k damage every 3 seconds until he is killed. And that's basically his only ability that he has when all 3 bosses are up. And you also want to remember to pull him separate from the other boss and keep the boss that you're killing away from the other 2. Elder Regal does a couple of abilities. He does a lightning bolt ability on players, and this is interruptible, so if you can interrupt, it's a good idea to. He also does lightning prison, which he is doing right now. This puts debuffs on players, and then after about 4 seconds they get the lightning prison, which stuns them and then does a field of damage around them and damages all the players around them. This can be dispelled and should be dispelled immediately. It's easy to anticipate and simple to dispel. So just basically dispel those immediately and you'll be fine. Elder Asani's abilities, he does a water bolt ability that kind of does a splash damage effect. It's also interruptible. And then he does a cleansing waters ability, which again is also cleansable. And he summons a globe of cleansing water at the Protector's location. And when it hits the ground, it does additional healing to targets around them. So you want to keep this away from the other bosses, especially the one that you are killing. So just make sure that the bosses are separated. Alright, since we killed the first boss, the 2 bosses get some new abilities. Elder Regal gets a new ability called Lightning Storm, which he's doing right now. And as you can see, I didn't really know what was going on, but what this is he will do, I think, 4 separate cones of Lightning Storm around him, and they separate about 20 yards each time. You do not want to get hit by this because it does 380k damage per shock, so it can kill you if you're not at full health. He'll do it right around his body and then it'll go out about 10 or 20 yards. Here he's casting it again. What you want to do is kind of stay right at the edge, and then you can dodge all of them. If you stay right about the edge of the first lightning storm, then it's easy to run up and dodge the second one. And he only casts this ability when 1 protector has died. Elder Asani's ability when 1 protector has died is Corrupted Waters, which is what he just cast. And what it does is it summons another orb, and this orb grants the protectors a damage and casting speed buff. So it gives them 50% melee and casting speed buff until it's killed. So you want to kill those orbs pretty quickly, because that'll give the boss basically 50% or more damage. Once you do kill the orb, which we're killing right now, it has that glowy circle thing and it purifies them, and it will increase your melee ranged and spell casting speed for 20 seconds by 25%. So it's a good idea to stay around that orb when you're about to kill it, because it'll give you a pretty good buff. And remember to keep dispelling the lightning prisons, because they still have their old abilities from phase 1. There is another orb we're about to kill, and once it goes down you'll see that large glow and we get a pretty good buff. Alright, Elder Regal is about to go down, and then the final boss we have is Elder Asani. Elder Regal and Elder Asani have the same ability when it is just them left. The Protector has a different ability that is a lot harder, and that's what makes this kill order much easier. When Elder Asani or Elder Regal is the last boss up, they will get a buff called Overwhelming Corruption. What this does is it inflicts 22,000 damage to all the players every 3 seconds. And it increases the damage taken by that ability by 5% every 3 seconds, and it stacks. So you can see that debuff in the corner of my screen. That's gradually stacking every 3 seconds and increasing the AoE dot damage that he's doing. So this makes it kind of a DPS race at the end to kill the last boss. So you'll want to use heroism and all your cooldowns for this fight. One reason that having Elder Asani last is that he still does that corruption orb, and you can get the 25% casting and haste buff, which is good. And by the time he's the last boss up, they also get a buff that increases their damage done by 25%. So since he was the last boss up, he still gets more damage done, but otherwise it is a fairly simple fight, and hopefully this helped. Good luck with your fight. Thanks for watching.